Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another meal prep video. This week I decided to prep meals that could be for lunches and for dinners. You guys all know I am just about simple. I want to do simple meals, easy meals, meals that taste good as leftovers, have less food waste. That is my goal for this year. So I did prep things that were that could be easily done for lunches or for dinners. If you are new here, I hope you please take some time to subscribe to my channel. I do meal prep videos every single week, as well as grocery hauls, what I eat in a day videos, and we also do weekly updates and just some chatty vlogs. The first thing we're going to meal prep this week is going to be a taco soup. Now, funny thing is this actually was supposed to be using ground chicken, but I grabbed the ground turkey instead. So here we have our 99% lean ground turkey. This is going to make this a 0-point soup, and that was even with tracking the taco seasoning and the ranch seasoning. I put all of that in the tracker and it still came up to 0 points for this recipe. So that's a good thing, and it's really filling and has lots of fiber and lots of protein. So first thing I'm going to do is in my crock pot, I have a setting where I can brown in my crock pot, so I'm going to go ahead and brown up my ground turkey. I'm adding in some of the minced garlic and also some minced onion, as well as the green bell pepper that I chopped up. And then we're going to go ahead and get that all browned up, and then we're going to add in the taco seasoning, and I'm using this spicy ranch seasoning. I've never used this before, so I thought it would be kind of fun to use. I just measured out 2 tablespoons of the ranch seasoning and 2 tablespoons of the taco seasoning. Now I like to put this in before I put liquid in because it just really helps the meat get a good flavor, especially for this 99% lean ground turkey. And it just kind of helps with the spices when it warms them up rather than putting the liquid in. And then we're going to put in some of this fire roasted corn, the whole can of diced tomatoes. I am going to drain and rinse the pinto beans and the black beans, and then we'll put in some better than bouillon along with 2 cups of water. So instead of making the bouillon, I always just put a teaspoon in there along with 2 cups of water. And we're going to go ahead and let this sit on high for about 2 hours. And here is our soup. Like I said, 0 points, you guys. I like to top this with jalapenos, some plain non-fat Greek yogurt, maybe some cheese. Stay tuned for my what I eat in a day videos. You can see how I put this all together, but only 321 calories, 32 grams of protein, and 0 points for this soup. Next up, we're going to go with one of my old standbys, which is a low-carb taco casserole. I love this recipe. Again, we're using the 99% lean ground turkey, some rice cauliflower. The only points in this whole entire recipe is going to be from the cheese. So just depending on what kind of cheese you're going to use will be depend on how many points. This comes out to 3 points using the cheese that I am using for this recipe. And again, that's still with tracking the taco seasoning. So I don't typically track taco seasoning, but I just wanted to see what it came out to be. So first up, we're going to do layer 1. Layer 1 is the cauliflower rice. So I went ahead and put the cauliflower rice in the microwave for 5 minutes so we could get it nice and thawed out. And then to this, we're going to add in the rest of the ingredients. Now, I know cauliflower rice can be super bland. So I have made this recipe so many times, as you guys know, so I'm going to show you how to make it so it's not really bland. First up, we're going to add in some diced up onion. We're going to add in half of a red bell pepper. We'll put the other half in with the ground turkey. So just half of a red bell pepper chopped up. We're going to put in half of this taco seasoning. And then we're going to put in some minced garlic. Again, I love these squeezed minced garlics. I actually have a big, huge one from Costco, but I'm trying to use this up first. Then we're going to add in some tomato paste. I love the tomato paste in the tube because I only need like just about 1 tablespoon or so of tomato paste. So the tube comes in so handy rather than just those little cans, and then you never need the whole thing. So I always keep a tube of it in my refrigerator. And then we're going to give that a good stir. And you guys, this really helps flavor up the cauliflower rice. The other thing that I like to do is to make sure I cook it for a long, long time to where it starts getting a little bit crunchy on the bottom of the pan. And then we're going to put this into I just use a pie dish, but you can use whatever kind of dish you want. But I just have a pie dish. This is a 9-inch pie dish sprayed with some cooking spray. And then you really want to flatten this out because we're going to put another couple layers on top. So just flatten this out. I do have the original recipe. I will link it down below, but just know I do it just a little bit different. So This is just how I put it together, but definitely play around with the recipe. It's a good one. Now to the same pan, we're gonna add in our ground turkey. And again, this is the 99% lean ground turkey. So again, we wanna flavor this up quite a bit just to make sure we get, you know, some good flavor in there. So we're gonna do the exact same thing that we did with the cauliflower rice. We're gonna add in some onion. And this is where I do it a little bit different than the original recipe. The original recipe, I believe that they don't do anything to the cauliflower rice besides maybe I think they do put in some of the bell pepper, but other than that, they don't put anything in there. And I just think that that's really lacking in flavor. So we're doing the exact same thing. The taco seasoning, the rest of that taco seasoning, I put a little bit less of the tomato paste because I don't want too much. So I probably put about a teaspoon of tomato paste, the rest of that bell pepper, and some more of the diced up onion. And I do like to use the frozen onion because I hate chopping up onions. And so after that's all cooked through, we're gonna add that to that layer in the dish. So again, we wanna kind of smush it down because our last layer is gonna be our cheese layer. Now again, I do this completely different. The recipe that you're gonna see, it shows you putting sour cream on there and all these other things because you are consuming it right away. But because I am meal prepping this, I do it a completely different way because of that. But I have made it as the recipe states with putting the sour cream on the next layer and then putting it in the oven. But to me, I leave that step out because I do like to just add that later on. Now we're gonna add on the cheese. So I'm gonna add in 1 cup of this cheese. Now I believe a serving of this cheese is 1/3 of a cup. No, 1/4 cup. And it is, I believe, 3 points. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on a cup of the cheese on top. And then we're gonna put this into a 350-degree oven for about 15 minutes. We're really just melting the cheese. Now I'm not gonna do anything else to it at this point. I do have this in 4 servings. I like to top this with jalapenos, some shredded lettuce, some tomatoes. Look at that, 36 grams of protein, only 3 points, 230 something calories. And like I said, I like to just throw a bunch of stuff on top. So stay tuned again for my what I eat in a day video and you can see how I throw this together. The last thing we're gonna make is actually what I'm having for dinner tonight, and that's gonna be some mini meatloaves. Now I'm using the ground chicken because I completely forgot by the time I got through this meal prep that I was gonna use ground turkey for this recipe. So we're gonna use some ground chicken. And then we need some minced garlic, some more onion, no sugar added ketchup, some Worcestershire, some quick cooking oats. I'm gonna use this Montreal chicken seasoning, and then we need 1 egg. Again, this is still really low points. But if you use the 99% lean ground turkey, it's even lower points. But it turned out, I can tell you, I've already had this. It turned out so good. I don't know if I've ever used ground chicken for meatloaf before, but I definitely will be doing it in the future because this turned out so good. So we have that full pound of ground turkey. We're using 1/4 cup of quick cooking oats. Then I'm gonna put in that Montreal chicken seasoning. I don't know, I just saw it in the cabinet when I was looking for something to put in here and I just thought, that sounds good. I didn't even have it opened yet. I had picked it up on a whim somewhere. And then we're putting in the egg. Now this is gonna be on a sheet pan too. I told you these are mini meatloaves. It's so cute, you'll see it. It's great for meal prep, great for me my husband can't eat chicken, so to be able to portion these out where I can just grab and go and take them to work for lunch. Also, if you did not know, I do work outside the home, so sometimes I have to take my lunch with me. So this is why I made them this way. Put in some minced garlic, put in some minced onion. Now we're adding in 3 tablespoons of no sugar added ketchup. And then we're gonna add in 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. That's how you say it. I know Worcestershire, I don't know. People say it different all over the place. So 1 teaspoon of that. And then I like to kind of start it a little bit with my little meat chopper here, but then I do end up having to go in with my hands. The thing with meatloaf, to make it stay together, you want to handle it as little as possible. Do not over mix it or else it gets really dry and it can fall apart. Now I am weighing mine out, so I weighed out my whole batch, divided it by 4 so I could make 4 mini meatloaves and they were even. So I have my big cooking sheet here that I put some foil on, added some nonstick cooking spray. This will make cleanup super, super easy. And then I believe my meatloaves came out to where I needed to be 148 grams each. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of weigh them out, plop them on the on the baking sheet, and then I'll form them a little bit in loaves. Now you're going to see here in a second I'm going to add some potatoes and some vegetables on this. But like I said, what I love about doing these types of sheet pan meals, for one thing, it's easy, it's one and done, not very many dishes, and easy cleanup. Plus, like I said, I can portion these out super easily. So I have my meatloaf is already portioned out. If I want to just put one together for lunch to take to work, I can just put one of these loaves into a little dish and then add in some of the veggies and then take it to work, heat it up, and there you go. I have my lunch to go. Now we're gonna make our topping here. We're gonna use 3 more tablespoons of the no sugar added ketchup along with some Worcestershire sauce, and then we're just gonna kind of put that on top here. This is kind of the same recipe I use for my regular meatloaf, except for the seasonings. So we're just gonna kind of put that all over the top here. And I don't know if you noticed, I did have to switch out to a different cookie sheet or baking sheet, whatever you call them, because my other one was not big enough, because I am going to add some vegetables and potatoes onto this. So just kind of put your sauce all over the top, and then I'm going to get my vegetables ready. So I have these little baby potatoes. I have some green beans here, and then I'm just going to use the same seasoning. Thought, why not? Might as well just do it. It's already out. Easy cleanup. And I'm going to use a tablespoon of olive oil. I'm going to put a half a tablespoon in with potatoes, and then a half a tablespoon in with the green beans. So first we have our potatoes. I already put the olive oil in there, adding some seasoning. I cut them into quarters, and then we're going to put them on our baking sheet. Now, the best way to get potatoes when you're baking them in the oven, I love to put mine in the air fryer, but again, I just wanted this to be super easy. You should put them cut side down, and then they'll get really crispy, and you don't have to worry about tossing them. When you put them in the air fryer, you just have to throw them in the air fryer and they're done. I don't even have to toss them around or anything. They'll just get done. But again, I wanted to make this a full meal on the sheet pan. So I did take the time to put them in. You guys know I have zero patience, so this did take a little bit out of me. I love these purple potatoes. They're really hard to find in my area, so whenever I can find them in these baby potato setting, I do like to buy them, because just something about the purple potatoes, they just taste really, really good to me. So we're going to just go ahead and put these all over there. And then with our green beans, we're going to do the same thing we did with our potatoes once we finally get our potatoes on here. If you guys let me know what are some of your favorite sheet pan meals. I love sheet pan meals. Again, it just makes it super easy to clean up. They're really good for meal prepping. Just one of my favorite things to make. Okay, finally have our potatoes all on there and ready to go. Now our green beans. So I put the full bag of green beans in this bowl. Again, I just added in another half tablespoon of olive oil, plus there's a little bit in the bowl anyway. And then just add that seasoning on there, and we're just literally going to toss this on top. Now, the reason why I wanted to put potatoes down first is because I wanted to make sure they got cooked all the way through. So that's why I put the potatoes down first, because I kind of thought about tossing the potatoes and green beans together and just putting them on the cookie sheet. But I just thought, nope, this actually worked out a lot better, because now I don't have to worry about some potatoes not getting cooked. They're getting a little crispy on the bottom. And plus with the green beans, they don't really need a lot of cooking anyway. So I figure if they're not, they can just kind of go on top all over the place. So just getting this on here. Meanwhile, I preheated my oven to 425 is what I want to cook this at. So this is going to go into a 425 degree oven and for 30 minutes. And then of course check to make sure yours is done, because it could be completely different than mine. But this is what it looked like when it was all done. Again, like I said, I had this for dinner tonight and it was amazing. It was so good, you guys. Highly recommend this recipe. I will have the original mini turkey meatloaf recipes that I found down below. Again, it's going to be a little bit different, but these come in at 29 grams of protein, 7 points, and that's for this entire thing. That's for the potatoes, the green beans, and the meatloaf is 7 points for the entire dinner. And I can't remember how many calories it was, but not very much, 300 and something. So it was a great filling meal. Now I have 3 more portions for the rest of the week. That makes great leftovers. So as always, you guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch my videos. I will have all these recipes linked down below. Let me know what you meal prep this week, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.